Profiting in the Forex market is not an easy task. This is something that I've been documenting over the last 3 years. You can see my tracked account here from 2020, and a lot of up and downs. Drawdown was high on this account, but progress was made, and you can see all my accounts here that have been profiting over the last 2 years, showing a lot of progress. Now today I want to talk about this account, 50% profit in 2 months. This is something that the majority of traders are striving for. They want 20, 30, even 40, 50% a month, so they can grow small accounts into something substantial. And I've been able to do this on this test account. This is a live real money account of just $1,000. I'm trying things out to see how legitimate 15 to 20% a month on a consistent basis is. Because we have a lot of traders out there that are inspirational, like Donvo, for example. He's turned $150,000 into over $500,000 in about 4 months. He was able to profit over $76,000 in 1 day trading on gold. So you can see the 4 positions that he took. The first one was 1877. The last one was 1883. So it's about a 60 pip difference between the first and last trade. And he was averaging in all these positions and closed them all out at the same time. And the problem with this kind of trading is, yeah, you can make 20 to 30% in basically 1 day after maybe 50 to 100 pips on gold. And he was able to make $76,000. But when this happens, and when you're trading like this and you're taking high risk trades, even if they're rare, the chances of having a loss are also there, and you can lose at least that amount of 76,000 or possibly more. I find that traders end up losing more than they actually come out with wins because of the emotional part of trading. And so, Donvo, talented guy, and has a lot going for him. But this kind of trading, in my mind, is reckless, and it will eventually result in blown accounts. And so how that works is, if you go to Signal Start, and you can see here, there are a lot of traders and systems that are talented out there, but they like to push profit because everybody expects 20, 30, 40, 50% a month. And this trader is doing really well, profiting 20 to upwards of 30% a month. And this account started in June of 2022 and still going. You can see only 9% drawdown. And so these other accounts, same thing. These traders, 20 to even 50, 60% here. And this person's been going for almost a year. But the problem is, if you look hard enough on Signal Start, you can see all of the private funds or firms or individuals that have blown their account over and over again. And there's hundreds of them. And you can see these accounts, if you just click on them, you can see this one was doing really well. It was making 15 to, 100% in some cases, and then just blew the entire account. This one was running for almost a year, so February, and then it died in January. This was making 15 to 20% a month. And you'll see this over and over again on signal sites like Signal Starts and others that show tracked performances of talented traders. And the problem is that they keep falling into the same trap of pushing their system way too hard, and they inevitably have blown accounts or heavy losses that are unsustainable. Recently, I mentioned in my Discord group that I was going to officially release set files for my 3 scalping algorithms, the Sharpshooter, Vigorous, and Gopher, at 5 times the risk. So these set files use a 15% stop loss on the account, and so far you can see since December 8th, since I started running this experiment, I've had 50% profit with only 13% drawdown. So I ran an official statement in MetaTrader 5, and you can see here that my FX book isn't showing the drawdown correctly, and it's showing in my statement 4.78%, which is correct. And my FX book's been having some trouble showing the correct drawdown numbers, unfortunately. But you can see that really high profit potential with the set file here. I like to run backtests with my strategies for as long as possible. In most cases, that's 20 years in MetaTrader 5. And you can see the Vigorous strategy running over 20 years with my default high risk. And it gave 44% drawdown, which happened in 2011. And it only happened for about 2 or 3 days in 2011, and it has never reoccurred. But when you actually increase the risk by 5x with the Vigorous strategy, using a 15% stop loss, that 15% stop loss gets hit quite often. And you can see that it happened and pushed 77% drawdown because it happened multiple times back to back. And it was still profitable. The strategy was still profitable, but it showed a lot more dips within the equity, and it was not as profitable over the long term. Same thing with the Sharpshooter using 5x risk, 15% stop loss, 75% drawdown, and you can see the equity curve not nearly as good as when running the default risk with these strategies over the long term, over 20 years, and showed much less drawdown and a lot better equity curve. And so it shows that lower risk, looking for 3 to 5% maximum per strategy, is the way that you should be going when trading in the Forex market. So you may be wondering, why the sudden change of direction on these high risk accounts? Because I was actually considering dropping $30,000 to $50,000 on these high risk accounts because they were showing a lot of positive results over the last 2 to 3 months. You can see this one here, also really good results. But the thing is that these high risk accounts are really misleading because every single trader that I've seen over the last 20 years since I've been doing this, they all fall eventually, whether it's after a year or 2 years of trading at 20 to 30% profit per month. And eventually they all fall, and it's a hard fall. And I just don't want to fall into that trap. And it all happened when somebody asked me yesterday, would you ever feel comfortable putting a significant amount of capital on your high risk set files? And so I had to end up doing the research. I had to ask myself, how would I really answer that question? And this would be by back testing my strategies to see how well they do at this extreme risk level. And you can see that they don't perform well because every strategy that I've tested over the last 10 years since I've been back testing strategies, they have shown that the maximum I can take from each strategy is 3 to upwards of 5% a month. And if you try for more than that, you're going to have extreme losses and you're going to likely blow your account or be able to not bounce back. And profiting over the long term is something that's really important to me, and I think it should be important to everybody. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. Catch you on the next one.